Well, good evening, and I'll sign good evening in Plains American Indian Sign Language. Evening. Good. Here we are again for Talking with Hands. I'm your host and teacher, Plains American Indian Sign Language speaker, Mike Pahsetopah. This is our third lesson. I'm glad you're back here with us this evening. Next week will be the fourth one, and we're just going to kind of walk through everything next week, what we've covered. And right now is I want to do this sign right here for all. This is all. All. Okay, so that comes like a sweep. Now, if I was standing up and I was doing this, I might be looking over and doing this, like if there was people in the back in the distance, that they can be able to see somebody up close. I'm going to say all. Let's go like that. Sometimes it looks like a new sign, depending on distance and where the eyes are focused. Now, people, it's like this. Go out. People. All people. Now we're going to see another variation of people, and that's this one. Some may use this, which means people. So that way, we can be diverse. We can be able to bring in other signs, and that means the same, just so we can keep on. Okay. The sun. Last week we covered that like I don't know if you can see that, like this, or like holding that card. Like a while ago when I said good evening, I made a motion of the sun going down. Good. Now with the sun in descriptive form would be this with this, then heat, talking about the sun, rather than, a time or a lapse. Now, for children, sometimes a speaker will flip their hands like that. These are my children. There's another hand position for children that almost is like, like as if you was picking a baby up. That, and you see those hands kind of go up like that. That's another sign for a child or children. There you may have to, maybe use a number like this is my child. 1, 2, 3. I've got 3. And if he was going to be, kind of get focused in on the number, male, female, this is my boy or this is my girl, then you would make that sign for boy, and then maybe go at a height, or he's growing, or this little girl here, it's my daughter. Touch the heart, give it a little tap. Now, elder, there's 2 ways to do elder, and I've been teaching of this referring to an elder. Okay, that's holding a staff or a stick. The other way is here. using 1. This one here, you would find more up north. Okay, so we'll say that, let's say this was maybe down in around this area here, but they would say, elder. So both are right. There would be no argument, there. Now, I did notice in storytelling, where Plains American Indian Sign Language is used, that there's a few signs that they throw in there as for elder, and you might have to consider, okay, this man here is an elder. And then I noticed that in that they would do a sign of a mouth. The problem of it is, and I wouldn't want to offend an elder or somebody that doesn't have teeth, but there's a sign for no teeth for elder. So that goes way back. So we just write that down in our log. That's another symbol that you may see out there. Myself, I'm going to stick with this for somebody comes and gets me with that stick. Now, to marry someone, they bring that sign like this. That's spouse or husband or wife. It just depends on that sign for this and sign for this. Okay. They are married. Okay. Married. All right. Now, so you see those signs like this. Okay. Now, what's the other similar sign that we use for together is this. Okay. Like pointing a finger and then an open palm hand here. Together. Okay, just a few minutes ago, I used a sign for all, kind of a little sweep of the hand. Now, this one here is to bless and cover. And so that hand goes like this. You see more of the bottom of the hand. And it almost may look like this. Say if you were sitting on the floor and you was looking up and you seen this, it may look like, you're blessing, but it still covers all. Bless. You could use that other sign, touching your heart. Give that blessing. Give blessing to all. Okay. Now, hunting. It depends what is being used in the hand. Okay, if it's a rifle, some may go like this or like this, or if it was a spear or staff, it may be this. If it's a bow, then it would be this. Yeah, pinching that air and that string back. See, you might want to do that. That's a bow. Okay. So when we really get focused in using those signs there, what may be in a story, we say this warrior, this man was hunting, walking through the woods. He's seen an elk or maybe a bear. He pulled his bow back. So there you see, just being able to describe it using that Plains Indian Sign Language direct way of communicating. Now, again, a bow, you might want to grab that bow just like this, and you're holding it. And you can pull it back far. Say you was going to shoot it up in the air, let that arrow go out there in that direction. That would show the distance and your aim. You know, because sometimes somebody along the way may have a name like that. There may have been a warrior or something, you know, shoots his bow, or a story again, you know, of hunting. Now, brave, the sign for brave sometimes may look like a punch. Brave. Sometimes you might want to pop the hand, you know, brave, and maybe hold your head up, you know, as a back in the old days, you know. I don't want to say stoic, but bravery back then at one time meant that you stood up, and, you know, your chest was out, and it was like a challenge, you know, fearlessness. So there's that one. Now, let's say call. To call someone, you would do this. That's symbol for lips. And then take that hand and that finger, 1, 2, 3. And then you could point there, you know, who. And we could even use that today. On a lot of times people won't say they're going to call somebody and they'll go like this. So we pretty much know that that's referring to a phone call, but we could also do it that way. Another thing too, in pointing in sign language, it's pretty much universal among Native American Indian people to use their lips to point. So we can add that feature to it, pointing of lips. You know, usually when we walk by the powwow, people will be watching, and sometimes you acknowledge them by pointing your lips. Good culture there. Now, let's say a hunter wanted to go camping. What would be a symbol of a camp? Symbol of a camp would be this way. So that there's 4 to that. 4 taps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's count. 1, 2, 3, 4 is referring to camp here. Back in the old days, we would say a teepee. A symbol for teepee was here like this, but it's also used again, like I mentioned last week, that it could also mean your home, where you live, building, a big building, or even kingdom. So those different variations right there that you can use in that. So this is again refers to camp. We did brave a while ago, which was this, but afraid is this. Afraid. might kind of bring that in. You know, say that little girl, she's afraid. That's afraid. To keep something is you bring it here and touch. You put your hand on your heart, and that's a sign that it belongs to you. You're going to keep it. Why? Because it's part of you. It's from your heart. Maybe it was a gift. Maybe it was something that means something to you. So you keep hanging on to that. That's what my dad used to say. Okay, so that's keep it. Take it. You use that little finger like it's grabbing. Bring it in. Take it. Another way of doing that would be using your hand, grabbing it. You may see it done like that. Take it. And then this always kind of means mine. Catch it. Dad used to be talking about a painting or his artwork, and sometimes he would make a sign for thought. He would use his index finger and touch his temple, or he'd say, you know, this, and that was like, you know, thinking. Then he'd touch thinking or thought. Thought would be here. Thinking would be like this. So there's a little difference, but you know, you can understand. Okay. Then he said he grabbed that thought, and that's what he write it down or draw it. It was just first, it was just an idea. We've seen it. Give it would be like he was handing it out. Give it. I give it. Okay. Or it could be like this, and you kind of lean to, you know, giving this. Yeah. Feel like my voice is getting fainter. Let me talk a little louder. So tired is, it looks similar to afraid, but it's a little different. Tired is just kind of maybe the shoulders go limp, and then the hands right here up close. Whereas as afraid, you know, it was out here. And I'll have to check around and find out if there's other ways of signing for afraid. That way we can show, you know, different ways and that. But that's one way that that I've noticed it was used. I remember a little boy that we'd be going to powwows, and people would invite us over to their camp to eat, and I would watch the older ladies as they was preparing the food and getting things ready, and people getting the table all set, and they would really be using sign language in there. And you know, they'd even have that little tea towel, and they moving this from flies and stuff. Come on, you guys, come eat. Everybody sit down. So here we go for sit down. It can be this or it can be this. Sit, sit. So there's a different way that you do that there. So, and then I think last week, sometimes I'm putting in a little bit of review, hitting maybe a word that we've done the last 2 weeks. Stand, sit, stand. Sometimes when a person stands, they always, sometimes adjusting where they're sitting. So 1, 2, 3, or straight up, sit. Hit looks just like a punch, just like hard. Hit it hard. Well, hit is similar. It's just like this. Hit. Maybe a bullseye, maybe a target. Maybe you was hunting and you hit him. He fell. There's fail right there. There, fell. Now, we'll look at these words right here. Why? That's something that's going to come with a question. Okay. Why would be like, I could describe of maybe holding a light bulb and gently turning it. Why? Or you might want to hold it up closer to you in that way. Or, out here, why? Maybe you're talking to some children, or maybe they're telling you why. Either way, it depends, you can, where the hand is positioned to the body. You might want to lean into it, because all of these emotions and body language help telegraph and to explain that gesture or that move. It might even be the position of the eyes. Sometimes that little nod of the head, just like maybe 2 lessons ago we talked about just using descriptive forms of the positions of our face, showing fears, being glad, surprised, all of that, goes, you can put that with that sign language. Okay, now the next one is what? Okay, so this is why. What would be across from right to left. You can bring that hand over. You might want to turn your body. Depends on who's in front of you, where they're positioned at, where they're standing at. Right to left. Sometimes when I'm practicing in front of a mirror, I'm even looking at myself on screen, and you get a reverse. So that's similar moves, similar sign language things that sometimes it just depends on the direction and the position, because it could be a sign that goes the other way, that we're using. And as you notice, there's some similarities and things. So in the direct way of communicating someone one-on-one, it's close quarter. See. Now, the next one here is where. Where. Now, where would be like you're looking, seeing out there. 1, 2, 3. Where? Question. So you could kind of say that this right here is a question. Why? Like I did that. Well, why? Was kind of a little slower, you know, because you want to bring something out, maybe truth, maybe they're what they've done. They're not telling you something that's false and wrong. Why? Okay, now back to this one here. Where? Where? Who? Who is what we do here is hand would go across, you know, like you sweep across. Who? And who and why, there's a similarity. It looks pretty close, but again, it's how that one speaking does that. Who? You know, you might have to put something in with that so you can know. Who? Maybe you're showing some, maybe for example, somebody you're selling tickets and you're looking at there who wants to buy a ticket. You come up here, you know, something like that. Just trying to make it an application here. Now, the word how is it's slow, and kind of hold that hand would kind of come up in an upward position from the body, and 2 twists of the hands. How? Okay. So who is this way? It goes from left to right. And how goes from left to right, but it also is a kind of a slower hand move with 2 of these. Give it 2. So the position of the hands, we find that it changes. It changes in our directness and for what we're saying. Okay. You know, you can bring that hand out, just like I was saying last week. You know, so you might be talking to an audience. You may have or a congregation or there as a speaker, and you want to bring your movements, you know, a little bit more out there, you know, to where, you know, you can see those signs rather than, you know, this might be okay if you was, you know, coming into a place, you're trying to be quiet, you signal. That's a little closer in it, and you'll see that too. Once we get to speaking and run into one another, and we start being able to do these signs, we'll be able to feel that, because, you know, the communication the relationship with talking with hands becomes a reality to you, you know, and then you'll be able to just flow with it. Take that. Now, here's another one here for this. If you're writing it down, this. What is this? You know, start putting those two signs together. Or here. You know, just like I told somebody, come up right here. It's here. That is, you kind of pointing that. Maybe I'm pointing at a painting on the wall. That. A clock. That. TV. That. And if you want to hold that position of that, so they can pretty much follow where that finger, what you're talking about, that, you know, and then they might sign back this, and then there, the finger goes kind of upward, or it might use directly to that point, like there, over there. Okay, I think we used that one last week. And let's say you was going somewhere and your hand was used in the old days, sometimes like a map. And they would say, right there, you know, and they would use their hands to talk about a place. And then you go right there. Or that's like we said right here, there. Close. But then you see the hand positions. And then maybe facial, maybe mood, maybe a feel. You know, you get this because at the first of this, I was really going to say, well, okay, let's loosen our fingers, let's get our hands and our shoulders and stuff all relaxed. Therefore, you can kind of get projection in it. Really, is what I want to say. Just like you focus, you're looking at the screen right now, and you're looking at me, and you can see me, and then doing some of these sign language moves. I want to show life in them rather than just looking at a picture of a hand. You know, I want to put maybe a mood in it, you know, where you see it, you can feel that expression of what they were saying. Something that you may not get in language, or even in speaking English, you know. You would really have to, I want to say, break it down, you know, to where, let's go to face movement real quick, and then add sign language. Okay. If you wanted to say sad, you would do that sign of that mouth going down on both corners, and a tear. Okay. So you could add mood to it. Happy, you might want to do a smile. If you don't smile, you could still do that mark of that smile. Let's see here. Think of another one here, similar. Proud. You could lift your chin up. Touch your heart. Chin, heart. Proud. And then we did one while ago was thought, thinking. Hear. So you're trying to hear. Maybe way back there. There. Now, if we want to say, I know, I would take my hand, the thumb going back to me. I know. I know. I know. For those who've been in the back, I know. To say, I don't know, then we would say, I, and then don't know. So there's no, but we extend it. We extend that length of that arm. See, I don't know. No. But I really do. All right. So again, we got to see the full position of the hand, the extension of it, the sign for no. I know. I don't know. Okay. Now you've got that one down. And then we did last week was to go. Go. Dad used to do sometimes he would just point in that direction. Go. If he wanted you to hurry and go, he might do this. Go. Add that fast, that speed to it. So there we go. Go. Maybe hurry back. No, N-O is the hand here, kind of tilted down. Okay. No. 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 Okay. And K-N-O-W was up here like this. The hand position, the hand. No. And then this one here, N-O, is this. No. I'm this word right here. Yes. 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 Come would be come. Or hand in that direction. Come. That's using it in this way right here would be, I would say that person really wants them to come. This one here would just be like, come on. Come on. Well, this one here. Let's see, you want them here. Maybe to eat. Maybe to drink. I was watching a video today. I watch these videos because there's always something that you can see when you see the speakers. It was an old video of Buffalo Bill Cody talking to an Oglala warrior chief, and I was watching them talk. And the first time I ever seen it, I was just sitting there, like, I started watching, and then a little bit closer. I get a little bit closer to where I can feel that end assigned to move to the next one. It was like change of thought. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about something else. And I was catching that today, and I was sitting there laughing, and my wife was walking by, and I was sitting there looking at this, and I was just laughing because this chief here, he was asked about some coffee, and old Bill was like grinding that coffee and giving it to him, and he like that, and he throwed it to the ground and said he didn't like it. Boy, and I was watching his face when he was saying it. I found a lot of humor in the way he said that and the way he did that move. Now let me get back here, concentrate on this again. By and by, when something's going to go on expectedly, it's here. It's that sign for speak. There's three points to that. 1, 2, 3. By. That's like you keep going, going, going. Rather than just here, this may be talking about something that that you're working on, or that that's something that's coming, and you keep going. You say this, so that use of that sign, that index finger going out, kind of a little bounce to it. I might have used this one here a little earlier, but I wrote in my notes again on carry, on 3 ways, and I think I mentioned that, but it's good for review. We've done one earlier, go back again, that's okay. The carry again was like this. Carry. Might want to get upward to your body. Maybe carrying maybe you're carrying wood. Maybe you're carrying a bundle of blankets. So you have that. Then you might have open hands to carry. You know, somebody comes by, they put stuff in your arms. Go. Or maybe you can just keep going with that over there. And again, another way of carry, you know, might be this. Now, sometimes to use that word carry, they might carry a pack on their horses. So here's a horse, and then pack on that horse. See, different ways to do that. Now, what we're going to look at is some other words here. I was really working on writing everything down. I always like documenting things. You know, when you document things here, you know, you're recording it. And I noticed in art, as an artist growing up, you know, my dad would teach me, you know, a lot of symbols and stuff in art that we could draw on things, you know, symbols in beadwork, symbols, you know, painted on teepees, symbols on shields, symbols, you know, on dancers, maybe even face paint, things like that. But everything, you know, we have this sign language in it. And those sign language, you know, there's symbols, and there's symbols, they're words, you know. But to the one that's understanding those symbols, what they convey, what they represent, what they mean, is knowledge. We're gathering tonight. We're sitting here and we're gathering information, and we're building till we get a vocabulary of speaking with our hands. Now, to say cannot, we take that hand and we go across it like this. You cannot go. See, or we did this one the other day, to stay. This was stop. This is stay. See, position the hands totally means something else to do. If you was telling somebody to stop, you wouldn't you wouldn't do meaning stop and do this, or you would have to be precise on that sign. Stop. Stay. You could do it like that. Stay right there. Now, so this right here is cannot. Okay, so we see these references in this sign language of direction right here, here, and now we see the hand and the finger signing for cannot. I mentioned a while ago about coffee. Coffee, for those who first had it, was always bitter. Some didn't like it, But the sign for coffee was this. And back in the old days, they grind that coffee up, grind it up, and then drink it. So that's coffee. Bread. Now that sign for bread almost can be used except for the arms of wrestling. Some of them will get their hands together, like they was in there and they were struggling and stuff. But here it would go like this, maybe you were wrestling somebody, and maybe it was a bear. So that's how that sign goes. This was the one we did earlier. Come here, sit beside me, right here. All right. I think it's going to be real important that we work with our children, and grandchildren on this language here, and talk to them like it, use those hands when we're speaking, and I think they're gonna pick it up. They'll take it just like they do with our language when they hear it. They will recall words, what they mean. Maybe to the point that when we get our full language, because we get to looking at, I would say, when I first started, kind of implementing the sign language into talking and stuff in my presentations or something, it was almost like it was broken. But the more and more that I've practiced and let it become a part of me, now it just goes, flows. I'm hands moving, and look like a kung fu movie, with my hands sometimes. But that's the way I'm doing now, and I'm just using it constantly, and I love it. I really love doing this. Okay, now back in the old days, they had camp criers in my tribe nation, Osage, and they would call, they would announce, say a person's name in our language. But this here was a way that was saying call or yell. They would yell it out like that. So speak, words, listen, hear, yell, and then we did call earlier, like that. So see, there we go right there. We see different ways here to put that together. Speak, call, shout, to bring something is this. You hook that finger and pull it in. Bring it. That. That. Bring to me. I take it, receive it. It's mine. So we always had that little tap to the chest, just like of someone that you love. You know, you can use both hands over the heart, or if it touches your heart. To keep, it's mine. To take, it's mine. Catch it, it's mine. To give it, get something. Okay, class. I'm open for some questions. I just happened to look, and it's like 5 till. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and so, Teresa.
Can you show how to do thank you?
Thank you. Well, my mind went blank. Okay, that's yes. That's good. And then sometimes it was done like this. Somebody gave you something. Thank you. Can we see that good on there? I'm looking at a little frame here.
Yes.
Okay. You know, you go from that heart right here, like that. Thank you.
Good.
Okay.
Jason, did you have any questions?
Oh yeah, I was. My wife asked about the horses. Is that one with the hand and straddling the fingers? And then is there one for dog? She really want to know about dog.
You know, I've seen. I've watched. Dad would always just use his finger like this. He'd point down, and then this was like a wagging tail. But I even seen one time a guy had using his little finger, you know, for symbol on a tail, and then that thumb, you know, the front of that dog, and he went across. We had a elder that used to come by here and visit with Dad, tell stories, and they'd be looking out the back, out in the back through the window and they was watching the dogs and stuff. And, you know, he'd be telling Dad, he said, I watched them dogs go in that dog house. And so that's how he done it. But Dad, he would, to make sure that we knew it was a dog. Let me use this one here, for instance. Years ago, my great grandfather would be hunting. Of course, you know, I've told the story, he couldn't hear, couldn't speak. So sign language was what he used. And so he had that actor, Ben Johnson, movie star, was a young boy, lived here in Pahsetopah. And he would go with my grandfather and he could hear the dogs and stuff barking. So Grandpa would give him a little elbow nudge, and then he would make his hands like this for barking. And he would point, you know, and he would say, Ben would tell him this way. So was riding that horse. So that was a part there was barking, in reference to a dog. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that story.
Oh. Any more questions?
I guess that's it. Unless just Jason has any more.
No, I appreciate everyone's time. I've enjoyed this as always.
Thank you. So I guess we're gonna stop right here. Come back next week, same time, and I'll have a lesson for us that speaking with hands.
All right.